Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, during a meeting with private sector officials today, announced that the Guyana government made the donation to a fund established by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, also known as CDEMA. CDEMA, CARICOM's coordinating agency, is currently conducting assessments of the hurricane-battered islands and providing situation reports to CARICOM countries like Guyana in a position to render assistance. Private sector officials brainstormed ideas on how to get relief to the affected countries, and the Prime Minister pledged government's commitment to respond to this national crisis in a coordinated approach.
We wouldn't like to send multiple signals, so we will have to deal with a structure where CDEMA would become the lodestar agency that will give the guidance to the CDC, and through the CDC to the government of Guyana, to the ministerial task force which I had, and to the coordination platform as to what precisely would be needed and when. So while there may be great enthusiasm to respond to a request or a demand, or, well, I wouldn't say demand, but request from any particular country, we would have to make sure that we work under the coordination that has been established.
Major General retired Joe Singh made several suggestions in order for the entire nation to contribute to the relief efforts.
I would recommend that bank accounts be established into which citizens can make their contribution. Secondly, Pia mentioned there are a number of Guyanese who live on those islands that have been affected. Relatives should be asked to make available, perhaps to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through a contact facility, those relatives that they know live on the islands that have been affected, so that would help consular officials and so on to be able to track.
He also recommended that the Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Company and the Guyana Power and Light mobilize technicians to render assistance to help rebuild communities. On the issue of evacuation, however, government said efforts are underway to determine how best this process can be executed. Nagamutu told the newsroom after the meeting that the question of evacuation is a complex one.
Guyanese living in one of the islands may choose that, look, I want to go to the United States, I want to go to Canada, I want to go to Britain, I want to go to France. They have their nationals, citizens of other countries, they're Guyanese nationals, but they have a right to choose. So there's no way, it's not like you have a hurricane, like a volcano, and you say, you don't have a choice, we are evacuating you, jump in here. Right? The storm has passed. Now they're deciding, where do we go? Some of them are being moved, for example, from Barbuda to Antigua. Are they going to be comfortable there? Some have relatives, they have their own homes in Guyana, they have relatives here. They may contact the relatives, I want to come, can you accommodate me? Or they can do the same, I'm going to the United States or I'm going to Canada. So it's a question of doing the options first and to do an inventory of who are the persons affected. And then you'll have to do what I intend to discuss with the Minister of Citizenship shortly, to do the protocols. In the hurricane, many Guyanese might have lost their travel documents, and therefore you have to reconstruct documents. You have to be able to create identities for people so that they can be afforded either with or without documents to come to Guyana.
But the leader of the opposition, in a statement today, reiterated calls made by the PPP General Secretary Bar Jagdeo for government to act swiftly to initiate steps to evacuate Guyanese desirous of coming home. Meanwhile, the private sector and government agreed to form a subcommittee to coordinate the national effort. The Civil Defense Commission promised to distribute to the private sector a list of items needed to be dispatched to the affected countries. These items include materials for constructing temporary shelters, food, water and sanitation, and medicine. Private Sector Commission Representative Ramesh Duku said once the list is received, it will be sent out to about 5,000 persons who can make donations. Captain Gerald Gov't, Managing Director of Roraima Airways, and Brian Tiwari, Managing Director of BK Marine, committed to lending assistance to transport the cargo by sea and air respectively once fuel is donated. The CDC said it will make available a list of working ports, as many points of entry were destroyed when the superstorm swept through the islands. Davina Samaru, Newsroom.